Hello, my lovelies. I hope you are well. Now we will continue the second part of the characteristics of cells. We have two diagrams: plant cell and animal cell. Plant cell and animal cell. We have some common parts in animal cell and plant cell, like plant cell have a cell membrane and animal cell have cell membrane. Plant cell have a nucleus and animal cell have nucleus. So lysosomes, we have lysosomes, plant cell and animal cell. So we have some common parts between plant cell and animal cell. As we said at the last slide, we have some parts in common between the animal cell and plant cell. So now we will talk about each part that in common, and we will know its function. So first one called cell membrane. Cell membrane have two functions. The first one as a protective layer that covers the cell surface and barrier between inside of cell and the cell's environment, like our skin. Our skin acts as a protective layer and a barrier between our body and the environment. So cell membrane the same. Protective layer, barrier, act as a barrier. Okay. The second function, it also controls materials moving into and out of the body. Yeah, control the material moving into and out of the cell. The second one called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the region inside the cell that includes the fluid and all organelles except for the nucleus. So cytoplasm include fluids and organelles. So when I called or when I give a question, the one that include fluids and organelles called cytoplasm. The one act as a protective layer called true cell membrane. So cell membrane protective layer control the material moving into and out of the cell. Cytoplasm includes the fluids and all organelles except the nucleus. The third one called organelle. Organelle is a small body in the cytoplasm that is specialized to perform a specific function. So organelles is a small body in the cytoplasm. Small body in the cytoplasm that is specialized to perform a specific function. The first one called the nucleus. The nucleus is a membrane-bound organelle that contains DNA. So the nucleus contains DNA of animal cell or plant cell. DNA that have a genetic material that provide instructor for all cells. So what's the DNA? DNA is a genetic material that consists of genes, or is a genetic material like us. We have DNA that have a genetic material like the color of our eyes, the color of our skin, the color of our hair, all things that come from genetics. So DNA is a genetic material. Come from genetic. So DNA is a genetic material that provides the structure for all cell process. So now we'll talk about cell membrane is a protective layer, barrier, and control the moving object. Second one called cytoplasm and contain fluids and organelles except for nucleus. Organelle, small body in the cytoplasm. Nucleus is a membrane-bound organelle that contains DNA. DNA, or it have another name, deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a genetic material that provides instructions for all cell process. We have two types of cells. The first one called prokaryotes, and the second one called eukaryotes. So now we'll talk about the prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are a single cell organism. Single cell organism. Single cell called unicellular. So single cell organism called unicellular. Single cell organisms that don't have a nucleus, so don't have a nucleus or a membrane bound organelles. So prokaryote, single cell, so it's called unicellular and don't have a nucleus or a membrane bound. So prokaryote have what? Prokaryote have DNA in the cytoplasm. We all know that the nucleus contains the DNA. So in prokaryote, DNA located in the cytoplasm. So prokaryote DNA is in the cytoplasm. They have organelles without cell membranes. They have organelles without cell membranes called ribosomes. So prokaryotes, single cell, unicellular, don't have a nucleus or a membrane bound. DNA is in the cytoplasm. They have organelles without cell membrane. They don't have a cell membrane called ribosomes. Organelles without cell membrane called ribosomes. Some have a hair-like. This called flagella. Flagella that helps them to move. Prokaryote can move, so it have flagella. Where is the location of the ribosomes? This called ribosomes. Ribosomes and organelles without a cell membrane. Okay, we have cell wall, cell membrane, and cytoplasm, flagella. So prokaryote include all bacteria. So the examples of prokaryote, the first one called bacteria, all bacteria, and archaea. All bacteria or archaea are smaller than eukaryote. So prokaryote are smaller than eukaryote. Prokaryote smaller than eukaryote. So can we make a brief summary about prokaryote? The first one is a single cell. The second one don't have a nucleus or a membrane. Third one, DNA is in the cytoplasm. Have organelles without cell membrane called ribosomes. Some have hair-like called flagella. So they consist of flagella that make them move. Prokaryote have an example like bacteria and archaea. It is smaller than eukaryote and it's unicellular organism. The second type called eukaryote. Eukaryotes are organisms made up of cells that contain DNA in the nucleus. So prokaryote contain DNA in the cytoplasm, but DNA in the nucleus in eukaryote. Membrane-bound organelles and ribosomes. Eukaryote consists of three things. The first one, three cells. DNA in the nucleus, membrane-bound organelles, and ribosomes, like these called ribosomes. And DNA in the nucleus, it have a nucleus, and membrane-bound organelles. And then we have some examples like animals, plants, protists, fungi. All of that are eukaryotes. Animals, plants, protists, and fungi. Animals, plants, protists, and fungi. Most eukaryotes are multicellular, opposite of prokaryote. So animals, plants, protists, and fungi are eukaryotes. Most eukaryotes are multicellular. Some are unicellular. So animals, plants, protists, fungi are multicellular, but unicellular as yeast, amoeba. We talk about that at the first part. We call the yeast, amoeba, paramecium are unicellular. So
as a cell, you're either a prokaryote or a eukaryote. Bacteria and archaea are prokaryotes, but everything else, plants, animals, fungi, protists, are eukaryotes. Both prokaryotes and eukaryotes have genetic material. Both have cytoplasm. Both have ribosomes, which are small organelles that make protein. Both have cell membranes, which control what goes in and out of the cell. But what makes them different is a big deal. Prokaryote, the pro rhymes with no, and they have no nucleus, which holds the genetic material and controls the cell's activities. Prokaryotes have no membrane-bound organelles. Membrane-bound organelles are fancy organelles like the nucleus and mitochondria and Golgi apparatus. Eukaryotes, the U rhymes with do, they do have membrane-bound.
This is eukaryote and this is prokaryote. Okay? Prokaryote have a cell membrane and flagella, have ribosomes. Eukaryote have ribosomes, also nucleus. It have a nucleus and mitochondria. Have a mitochondria. So eukaryote, the most important parts: flagella, prokaryote, flagella, cell wall, cell membrane, ribosomes. Eukaryote have ribosomes, nucleus, and mitochondria. Thank you. If anyone need any question, please tell me. Bye bye.